Welcome back to Daily English with Lily and Leo. I'm Lily.
And I'm Leo. And today's episode is one I have been looking forward to since we planned it.
Because we're talking about sports fans and live events. And one of us is very much a sports fan.
Football, live football, a full stadium, thousands of people, the chanting, the noise. I get emotional just thinking about it.
You literally got emotional when you told me this story last week.
My eyes were reacting to the air. That's completely different.
Sure. Before we get into the complicated feelings about football stadiums, please subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. It is completely free, it helps us reach more people, and if you're watching on YouTube, hit the bell so you never miss a new episode.
And leave a comment today. We want to know, are you a sports fan? What sport? What team? Tell us everything in the comments.
Okay, sports. Let's start at the beginning. How does it feel to watch football live? Because you play football with your friends, but watching is completely different, right?
Completely different. When you play, you're focused on your position, the ball, what you need to do next. When you watch live, especially a big match, you're just part of something enormous. You're in a stadium with 30, 40,000 people, and every single one of them wants exactly the same thing.
That shared feeling must be so powerful.
It's hard to describe. The noise alone, when the whole crowd starts chanting at once, this wall of sound hits you in the chest. Physically, you feel it.
A chant, for anyone who doesn't know the word, that's when a crowd sings or shouts a phrase together, repeatedly in rhythm, right?
Exactly. Every team has their chants. Some are funny, some are old, some go back generations. The players have probably heard the same ones their whole career, but for the fans in the stands, it never gets old. You join in and suddenly you're not just watching, you're part of the match somehow.
I went to a running event last spring. Not as a runner, just as a spectator, cheering people on near the finish line, and it was such an emotional experience. Complete strangers running past, some of them in tears, some barely moving but still going. I handed out water cups and I cried twice.
At a race you weren't even running in.
I know, but the atmosphere was electric. You could feel how much it meant to every single person crossing that line.
Atmosphere, the general feeling or energy in a place. And sports events have this specific kind of atmosphere you really can't recreate anywhere else.
Have you ever watched a World Cup match live in an actual stadium?
Not in the stadium itself. Those tickets are too expensive for me, way outside my budget. But I watched several World Cup games at a big outdoor screen set up in the city center. Thousands of people outside, a giant screen, and when the team scored, I have no words.
You said you hugged strangers.
3 different strangers, complete strangers. One of them lifted me off the ground. It was chaos. Beautiful, completely irrational chaos.
There's something about sport that makes that totally acceptable. You'd never hug a random person on the street, but at a football match, it's completely normal.
Sport gives people permission to feel things loudly. Usually, we keep emotions quite contained, right? But at a live match, joy, frustration, hope, panic, you feel all of it in 90 minutes, and you feel it with 40,000 people at once.
I can see the appeal, even if I'd probably find it too intense sometimes.
It can be very intense. I remember one match where our team was the underdog. Nobody expected them to win. They were playing against a team that was stronger in every way. More money, better players, more history.
Underdog. That's the team or person expected to lose, right? The one who isn't the favorite going in?
Exactly. And we were losing 2-0 at halftime. 2-0, for anyone unfamiliar, that's 2-0. Football uses nil instead of 0 for the score.
And what was the mood like?
Quiet, almost defeated. Some people were already leaving. And I remember thinking, it's such a strange thing, hope in a football stadium. It hangs in the air, even when it seems gone.
That's almost poetic.
Don't tell my football friends. But then in the second half, everything changed. They scored once, then again, 2-2 with 10 minutes left, and then in extra time, the additional minutes played when the score is level, they scored the third.
3-2.
3-2. And the crowd, it was such an explosion of noise, such a release. I've never heard anything like it.
That's the thing about sport. It earns the emotion because you've been sitting there worrying for 90 minutes.
And that's why you never leave early. You simply never leave early, because you never know.
Did you know anyone playing in that match?
Not at all. But that's what makes sport fascinating. The rivalry between clubs creates this identity. You support a team, and that team becomes part of who you are a little bit, even when you've never met a single player.
Rivalry. A strong, ongoing, competitive relationship, right? Not just one match, but a whole history, a pattern.
Exactly. And football rivalries are often city rivalries, regional ones, sometimes historical ones going back 100 years. When two clubs from the same city play each other, it's not just a match. It's something older and much bigger.
I find that fascinating. I didn't grow up in a sports-watching family. My dad watched cycling sometimes, but no football evenings, no big match moments I can really remember.
No shouting at the television?
No, very calm household. Maybe that's why I run, but I don't really watch. I'm more interested in individual effort than team outcomes.
That makes sense. Individual sport is one person against themselves. Team sport is about collective identity, very different feelings.
Do you think you have to start young to really be a fan?
Possibly. I got into it through my dad. He watched football, his friends watched football. I sat with them before I even understood the rules. The loyalty came first, the understanding came later.
That's quite touching, actually.
Do not make it sentimental. Let's talk about food at matches, because the food at a football stadium is so bad and so good at the same time.
How is it both?
It's overpriced, it's usually cold by the time you get back to your seat, and none of it is actually good. And yet, you eat it because you're there, and something about the atmosphere makes terrible food taste fine.
Did you have pizza?
Not at the stadium, but afterwards, I always want pizza. Post-match dinner, nothing better.
So, pizza is a dinner food. Here we go again.
Pizza is a dinner food, a post-match dinner food. This is settled.
I would eat it for breakfast, cold, from the night before, even better.
This conversation is too frustrating to have for the 15th time.
And yet we keep having it.
Because you keep being wrong. Moving on. Mark came to the match with me once.
How did Mark handle a football stadium?
He researched it more thoroughly than the players probably did. He had a spreadsheet, I am not inventing this, with the best seats for sightlines, the least crowded entry gates, and the optimal moment to buy food to avoid the longest queues.
That is so completely him.
He said he enjoyed it. He found the atmosphere more interesting than expected. But the chanting was too loud for him, and the seat was not wide enough for comfortable extended sitting.
Very specific feedback.
He also chanted once, just once, for about 8 seconds. Something came over him, he joined in, and then he looked at himself and stopped.
8 seconds of raw football fan energy.
It was enough. I was genuinely proud of him. Also, Biscuit watched part of a match with me last week. I had it on the laptop.
How did she respond?
She sat on the keyboard and paused the stream at the most critical moment of the second half, then walked away and fell asleep on top of the mystery box.
A strong editorial statement.
Very strong. The box remains sealed, by the way. Biscuit has decided it's a bed. I decided it's a design choice. And I thought about putting some money in the someday jar for a real stadium ticket, a proper match.
How much is in the jar now?
€4.62, which will get me approximately nowhere near a stadium.
The someday jar is very honest about timelines.
It is. You play football too, with the sweaty legends, right? That's a different experience from watching.
That's your group, not mine. But yes, you've described it as enthusiastic rather than talented.
We are loudly and consistently enthusiastic. We're decent enough that nobody gets hurt too badly, most weeks. And honestly, after a full day of work, running around a pitch for an hour, even badly, is such a good reset. I come home tired in the right way.
That's what sport is for, I think. Not wins or losses, just that reset. I get it from a morning run. You get it from sweaty legends.
Although I do want to win. Every single time, even against people I've known for 10 years.
Of course you do. Do you follow any sport as a fan at all?
That was for me, wasn't it? Sorry. Do you follow any sport as a fan?
Running events. Not the way you follow football, no team loyalty. But I love watching big marathons, major track events. Individual sport is interesting because it's one person against their own limits.
And the crowds at marathons must be so different. Quieter?
Actually, the spectators at a marathon are incredible. People stand along the course for 3, 4 hours just to cheer complete strangers. Nobody asks for anything in return. They're just there giving energy. I think that's what got me at the finish line last spring. Such generosity from people who had no reason to be there except to be kind.
People choosing to show up for others. That's sport too, isn't it? Not always about rivalries and scores.
Sometimes just humans cheering for other humans.
That's enough to make me feel something.
The air reacting again?
The air. Okay, vocabulary. 5 words from today.
First, chant. C-H-A-N-T. A phrase or song that a crowd repeats together in rhythm. At football matches, fans chant the name of their team or a specific phrase. You can use it as a noun, the chant spread around the whole stadium, or as a verb, the crowd started chanting.
Second, atmosphere. The general feeling or energy in a place or situation. You can have a tense atmosphere, a relaxed atmosphere, an electric atmosphere. We used it for sports today, but it works in any context. The atmosphere at a dinner, the atmosphere in a meeting room.
Third, underdog. The competitor expected to lose, the weaker side, the one nobody is backing. But underdogs sometimes win, and those are the stories everyone remembers. She was the underdog going into the final, but she won in extra time.
Fourth, rivalry. A strong, long-running competition between two sides. Not just one contest, a history, a pattern. Football rivalries between clubs from the same city can last generations. You can also have a friendly rivalry between two colleagues or between siblings.
And fifth, extra time. In football and some other sports, the additional minutes played at the end when neither team has won, when the score is level. It creates enormous tension. The match went to extra time and the whole crowd was barely breathing.
5 words. Chant, atmosphere, underdog, rivalry, extra time. Use them this week and tell us in the comments.
Grammar. Today, so and such, to and enough. 4 small words that cause surprisingly many mistakes, even at B2 level. Let's sort this out.
You used so correctly right there. Was that deliberate?
Completely deliberate. So and such both intensify. Both mean something is at a high degree, but they go with different kinds of words. So goes before an adjective or adverb. Such goes before a noun phrase.
So, adjective, such, noun phrase. Let me try. The crowd was so loud. Adjective, loud. Correct?
Perfect. And with such, it was such a loud crowd. Same meaning, but the structure is such plus the noun phrase, a loud crowd.
Such a great match. Noun phrase, so exciting. Adjective. I think I have this.
Good. One detail. With such, if the noun is singular and countable, you need a or an. Such a great match. Such an intense rivalry. But with a plural or uncountable noun, no article needed. Such good memories. Such noise.
Such noise. I like that. The stadium, such noise.
Now, to and enough. These are about degree, about whether something is more or less than you need or want. To means more than you want, and it carries a negative feeling. The ticket was too expensive. I couldn't afford it. Mark said the chanting was too loud.
And enough means sufficient, the right amount. Mark also said the seat was not wide enough. The adjective comes first, then enough.
Exactly. Too comes before the adjective. Too expensive, too loud, too far. Enough comes after the adjective. Wide enough, fast enough, good enough. Different positions.
And not enough means less than you want. The seats were not wide enough. I didn't have enough money for the stadium ticket. Some Dejar situation.
You can also use enough before a noun. Enough time, enough energy, enough money. And remember, to usually signals a problem. The queue was too long, so I missed the first half.
The atmosphere was so incredible that nobody wanted to leave. So plus adjective, then a result after that. Is that pattern right?
Perfect. So and such can be followed by that to show a consequence. It was such a tense match that I couldn't breathe in extra time.
Also a true story.
A different match.
To summarize, so plus adjective or adverb, such plus noun phrase. Remember a or an for singular countable nouns. To plus adjective means more than wanted. Adjective plus enough means sufficient. Practice this week, find 2 examples from your own life, and put them in the comments.
Motivation. What stayed with me today is the underdog story. 2-0 at halftime, some fans already leaving, and then the comeback, 3-2 in extra time.
And the thing about underdogs is they don't win because they were secretly better the whole time. They win because they didn't stop.
Language learning is so similar. There are days when it feels like 2-0 at halftime. You're not making progress. You don't understand people. You keep making the same mistakes.
And that voice in your head is always ready to leave early. It says it's too hard, it's taking too long, you're not good enough yet.
But if you stay for extra time, if you keep showing up, the moment comes. And when it does, it feels like 3 goals in the second half.
You have a conversation and realize you haven't hesitated once. You watch something and understand the jokes. You read an article and it just flows. That moment is your 3-2.
1% every day.
1% every day. Even on 0-0 days. Stay for extra time.
That's the episode. Let's close.
Thank you so much for being here today. This is Daily English with Lily and Leo, and we're genuinely so glad you listen.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. It's free and it makes such a big difference to us.
Leave a comment. Are you a sports fan? What's your sport? Have you ever been to a live match or event? We read every single comment.
And share the podcast with someone who's learning English. Word of mouth is such a powerful thing and it costs nothing.
Such noun phrase, perfect grammar.
See, I'm getting there. 1% every day.
See you in the next one.
Bye.